I'm joined by the Nanaimo Clippers 20-year-olds for today's show as we talk about junior hockey memories. From my left to right, Taz Burman, Jordan Wharrie, Cal Babych, Jamie Collins, Parker Colley, and Brandon Marinelli. I'm going to start with the guy with the microphone, Brandon Marinelli, and our first questions are going to be about this past weekend and what's coming for the Clippers. 2 losses against divisional opponents. Brandon, what's your overall takeaway, though, from that weekend?
Personally, I don't think we played to our potential, so that's why we dropped 2 games. But everyone knows what we have in the room, and we expect to come away with 6 this weekend.
Let's move on to Parker Colley and talk about the 6 that are up for grabs this weekend. Parker Trail, Penticton, Merritt, buildings that you know as a BC Hockey League veteran, but tough ones to play in.
Yeah, for sure. These are 3 big games for us, and especially with our dads going on the trip, there's going to be a lot of extra motivation for us to get these 6 points. And we don't want to take them lightly because, Christmas break, everybody might be kind of feeling in the Christmas spirit. And, we want to have these 6 points big for the standings.
Jamie Collins, the question that people want to know about you, how are you feeling, and can you get back in for this weekend, or are you looking at a target date of after Christmas?
I'm feeling a lot better than when it first happened, that's for sure. But I'm not 100% sure if I will play this weekend. Obviously, we're hoping I can play this weekend, but right now it's a waiting game. So we'll see if I can play this weekend. But I'm hoping to skate and hopefully play this weekend.
Let's pass the mic across me to Cal Babych. Cal, you've been a part of a lot of junior hockey games over the years, but you were a part of a guy getting his first BC Hockey League goal on Saturday in Victoria. What's it like to be a part of a moment like that?
Yeah, that's a special experience for anybody. Like any junior, first junior goal, especially one like that. It was a tough one to get it in. You obviously want to be part of a victory, and then it's always a little sweeter after the game. But he played his heart out last game, and he got rewarded for it, so it's pretty good, pretty special.
Jordan Wharrie, when you give up 9 goals and you give up 4 goals and you're a team that for a month had given up only 2, is it a case of changing things or just getting back to what you were doing for this weekend?
No, it's just getting back to what we've been doing for the last month and a half. We're a solid defensive team. We have a good goalie. We have a strong defense and forwards that like to grind in the offensive zone. So, I think we can get back to those ways next weekend.
Taz Burman, when you're in net for a couple of tough games, do you try and use that as fire this week to get ready, or do you have to, as a goalie, put everything behind you when you have a game that doesn't go your way?
I think you just kind of got to reset. You can't really let it get to you that much. Obviously, not every game is going to be perfect. We know last game didn't go our way. Personally, it definitely wasn't my best game, but that's going to happen from time to time. You just got to reset. Luckily, we have a good full week of practice here and just get back at it.
We're going to ask these veteran 20-year-olds who are in their final season about their first goals in junior hockey, but Taz will go a different direction for you. Do you remember your first win in junior hockey?
I do. It was just Red Deer. It was against the Regina Pats. It was in Red Deer. It was, I think, the 3rd game of the season maybe. I was 16 years old. The guys played really well in front of me. I think I only had 17 shots that game. We won the game 4-1, so can't complain.
Jordan, if the story about scoring a goal in Port Moody is the best one, tell that, but I'm hoping it's maybe a WHL story.
Yeah, it's
for
a little bit better. So my first goal in the WHL was on a Wednesday night in Moose Jaw, which isn't the most exciting thing, but I wheeled around second period. I wheeled around the net, and I beat a guy in the neutral zone and kicked it out wide for a 3-on-2, and I just drove the mid lane, got the puck, and put it in backhand. So that's capped it off nicely.
Cal Babych, what about you? Your first junior hockey goal?
Mine was when I was playing for the Calgary Hitmen when I was 16. We were playing the Kootenay Ice, and I just remember finding some open area, and the puck just kind of popped loose, and I potted it in, and I was fortunate enough to get a goal and then ended up winning the game, which was nice too.
Jamie Collins, we were talking before we went on this segment about your first goal and having a tough time remembering it, and I think it was against the Salmon Arm Silverbacks last October, but you've had some time to think about it. Do you remember your first BC Hockey League goal?
Yeah, I remember the goal, but I just can't really remember the team. But I think it was Salmon Arm. I just remember coming out of the corner and on my backhand. I only had a shot on my backhand, so I shot through a lot of traffic, and it made its way through far side. So that was my first goal.
First of many. Parker Colley, what was your first junior hockey goal like?
Mine was not too exciting. It was actually against Surrey. I got the puck off a chip in our own zone and went down on an empty net and scored. So that was that.
Brandon Marinelli, you have the last shot at this. What was your first junior hockey goal like?
Mine was also an empty net. We kind of sealed the victory 3-1. I think it was my 4th junior game played, and it was in the Ontario Junior League. So it was not as fascinating or exciting as these guys' stories, but still a goal.
Our final question in our first segment here, and Brandon will have the first chance to talk about it. I'm already nervous about what Cal's going to talk about because he's been sharing some. Your best road trip story, and keep it as clean as humanly possible, Brandon.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think probably Rookie Idol. I don't think like a certain one. I think the one we did this year with the Clippers is probably the best one I've been a part of. Just the guys actually knowing the lyrics and singing them. So I think that's probably the best story road trip wise I have.
Parker, Colley, what about you? Best road trip story in junior hockey, and you had a lot of time to earn some stories in Prince George.
Yeah, I think the one that comes to mind the most is the one we got to stay downtown Vancouver one weekend when we played Surrey back to back, and it was good. We won both games, and the Friday night we had a little fun in the city. So yeah, that was fun.
Jamie Collins, your best road trip story. Remember, you're the captain here, so things could still come back on you.
Yeah, that's true. I think my best road trip story was probably last year on the road trip we have coming up. We were playing Trail, Penticton, Merritt, and we were doing really well. We beat Trail and Penticton, then we were in Merritt, and everyone was a little on edge. You know, your third day of your road trip, you're getting a little antsy to finish up, and I just remember. You know, you're supposed to get to the rink and you're supposed to unpack your bag, and I remember just kind of standing beside my bag. I was doing something else, and I just remember staying there, and everyone's unpacking, and I wasn't. I just had my bag sitting there. And then our trainer last year, Rhett White, came walking in with the glove dryer, the big heavy glove dryer, and he starts walking, doesn't see my bag at all, hits the bag, falls over, he tumbles over on top of the glove dryer, gets up, starts screaming and yelling, "Whose bag is this?" I'm like, I'm standing right beside the bag. I'm like, yeah, it's my bag. He's like, he was so mad, his face was going so red, he just laughed, and then he went to the other room and started yelling at everyone else. So that was probably my best road trip story.
Cal, I'd say tell us your best road trip story, but I'm going to change it and say tell us your cleanest road trip story that's worth telling.
Yeah, I mean, like I have a few, but the one that comes to mind this year is when we made our way up to PG, and the suspension on the bus wasn't working the way it should, but and it was pretty bumpy. I mean, guys were like, I think Brad, for example, hit his head on the ceiling when he was standing up, and it was just one of those things. I mean, you don't wish it upon anybody, but and like we made our way up, and like we ended up we got there and we had a great game, and the problem was sleeping on the way back for 10 hours, and I know for a fact that everybody except for Jamie got sleep, but he was laying on the floor just passed out, but everyone else was awake the whole night, and we ended up capping off with a big win against Chilliwack, but that was a big one that stands out for me.
Jordan Wharrie, your best road trip story in junior hockey.
Well, I was 17 playing for the Everett Silvertips, and it was my rookie season, so I was a little bit shy on the team, and it was our first road trip, so we're doing the Rookie Idol or whatever, and I'm the shy guy on the team, so I get up and I rap the whole Notorious B.I.G. song called Juicy, and the boys loved it. I ended up winning the Rookie Idol, so that was one of the memories I got. So,
Taz Burman, final word in this segment for you, your best junior hockey road trip story.
Well, I don't know if I would call this the best, but it's definitely a memory for sure. We were playing in Saskatchewan. It was a Saskatchewan road trip. I was with Red Deer at the time. We just played in Swift Current. And we were on our way back to Red Deer, and it wasn't our best game. We lost. We didn't really show off for about a period, and so we get home. We get home late, maybe around 4 a.m. And since we didn't play for 20 minutes, we would make up that 20 minutes when we got back on the bike. So a little 4 a.m. workout certainly brings the boys together. We hopped on the bikes, lifted some weights, and went home at 5 a.m.
Those are the Nanaimo Clippers 20-year-olds.